Colonel Wyatt hits the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies, in his eyes, hear his voice, no surprise. Retired soldier with the fight, in the dark he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite, join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves, he explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Right now, don't miss the brawl.
Take a picture.
Down by the lot near the old cafe where the sun fries cars all night and day, there's a wild crew doing what they do. Yeah, you know them, the parking lot crew. Refugees with moves so tight, waving cars in left and right. 10 ways to say, yo, park that straight. 12 for bro, you're 20 late. Neanderthals in safety vests, snack in hand, but doing their best. One grunted loud, broke out in a jig. Turns out he just wants a parking gig. Canines bark like they run the block. Chased a drone down, beat the clock. One gave change with a tail wag spin. That dog's got tips and a toothy grin. Who you gonna call when the lot gets loud? Parking cones up and they're drawing a crowd. Whistles blow and the scooters fly. It's a parking crew and they're riding high. From the streets of town to the lot bazaar, they'll guard your ride like a superstar. Yeah, from Josie streets to America, it's the funky, fearless parking lot crew. Car guard shout near the garbage bin. Who parked skill? You let them in. They blow their whistles in perfect time, like a backup band with a traffic sign. Then here comes Wyatt, the colonel boss. Duct tape boots and a look that's sauce. She rides a scooter with flashing beams, salutes pigeons, yells at ice cream. Men, dogs, apes from a line. No dents, no scrapes, no overtime. If they park like chaos, made a plan. Fight them twice and be the man. Who's got the beat in a vested hat? Parking legends funky like that. Guard your eye with soul and flair, and a hi-fi breeze in the summer air. From this line here to America, it's the wild, proud parking lot crew.
welcome back to all the Neanderthals, the canines, the right-wing podcasters, and aspiring car guards. Don't forget the Car Guards of America Union starts on August 1st, the day tariffs start, and your membership dues are $1,000 per month. That's not rand. We only take dollars. So please join us as we misrepresent your needs and desires and ensure that you're getting yourself a minimum wage job living in a FEMA tent. That's the role of the Car Guards American Union. All right, so that's coming up soon, folks. Make sure you sign up for that. I don't care if you're a physicist or a surgeon, a dentist. Just sign up, be a car guard. We're looking forward to it. I'm going to miss the beginning of this live. Hey, Maddie, how's it going? Right, let's see. We've got Dogzilla's here. Chantel Fenter, Dougie Ray, Bugger Off Bunny, Mark, Samantha Von Eck, Charles Van Olsen, the voice of reason. Busy today. For some reason, I noticed him showing up on other shows all of a sudden. Maybe the algorithm is starting to kick in. That'd be nice. What other shows did you see me on? I haven't done anything. I am doing a show tomorrow. I've got an interview I'm doing. I don't know if it's live or not. I'm doing it at 10 a.m. I think it is. Yeah, 10 a.m. Yep. Got to double check on that. Hang on a second here. Let me just check on that. Okay. Tomorrow. Yeah, 10 o'clock. Yep. So hopefully I'll get my link from this. Okay. Anyway. Yep. Let me check on something here. So. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay, there's who it was. Okay. So I'm being interviewed by Heinz Winkler tomorrow. Okay. You guys know him? Was he the Idol winner, I think? Hunky Heinz. So I'll be on his podcast, I guess. Okay. Yep. So that's tomorrow. And then I'm interviewing Neil DeBeer. Right. Colonel, yep. So how's it going there? Pierre. Dogzilla in Seattle. Okay. Tom Pulteney's here. Who else we got? Chris Stander. Old Fenter. Mandy Van Royen Rakes. Karen Lung. All the night owls and good morning. All the right. Okay, yeah, 4:58. Moon is up. Okay, well, it's up here too. It's late. Caitlin, welcome to Mental Chewing Gum. Rex's Umon. Lawrence Duplessis. Guy Britz. Xavier Grayling. Johan Bernard. Bugger Off Bunny. Ulrich Fenter. Maddie's here. And who else have I missed? Charlene Bota. Rebecca. Momo. Mike is in from Philly. What's going on, man? Lots of rain today. Yes, pretty crazy day. How did I do on sunshine here? I don't think I did very well today. No. Oh, no. So let's see. Few days last week I had 48, then 47, then 44, then 38, then 24, and today was actually 23. More than I expected. Thank you for the super chat there, CFD Jaeger. Just got my license to record and distribute. Don't Stop Believing by Journey. Just your license to record and distribute. License for what? For music, I take it? Did you get like a cover authority from Journey to record that song? I love that. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that love and feeling. Streetlights, good stuff. Yeah, I didn't appreciate Journey when I was that age when they came out. I listened, but I didn't really. I really appreciate them now. Steve Perry's amazing. See all the usual suspects. Too many to greet. Okay. Yep, one of the first idols. Well, I'm being interviewed by him tomorrow. And the Wyatt Army went for prostate today. Still have some. Okay. Sorry to hear that you have pain there, Anthony. Yeah, I got an email. They haven't sent it to me in a while for a colonoscopy. I had one before I retired. I didn't like that at all. Didn't like it at all. So, caught a couple minutes of you yesterday on the conservatives or something similar. I'm not sure what that. Oh, the Common Sense Conservatives? That's my radio show. That's my channel. That's not someone else's program, if that's what it is. Thank you for the super chat. Pretty sure Heinz trained as a doctor, became a musician, now as a pastor podcaster. Yep, he is. Yep. Hey, Ohio, listening in, broadening my mind while I have a moment. Oh, Christopher, whereabouts in Ohio? You told me already. Canton, is that right? I'm trying to remember if it was you that told me that. I used to live in New Lexington. Well, I went to high school in New Lexington, lived in Junction City, went to college at Ohio University. Cover license. Cool. Congratulations, CFD Jaeger. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Do you have to pay? You have to pay residuals. So here's the thing. People want me to put my music online on Spotify and Shazam and stuff like that. It's not that simple. Some of you are artists, you know this. I'm not an artist. I'm just a guy that's coming up with pretty cool lyrics and having the AI finish them off and coming up with jams. I tried to make a Catgate video or a song earlier. It wasn't very good. I did a hip hop and I did a country version, and they all sucked. It was a waste of my time. Maybe if I do it in pop. But yeah, so I'll go back and try it in pop. In fact, maybe that's better if I do it in pop. But yeah, so you got to have a distributor, just like you're actually a record label. So you have to have distributors. So then you got to sign up. You got to pay someone to pay you. So the good news is the distributor, I went with DistroKid. Seemed to be the best option here. A flat fee for the year. So I paid like $45 for unlimited uploads. So we'll see how the first one goes. But it takes like a week to get your stuff onto their sites. Anyway, and then when they pay you, but it turns out that places like Shazam and Spotify and Apple pay you 3 months in arrears. Well, that's nice. They get to send your money for 3 months. Anyway, yeah, so you got to go through all these steps. I did it. Oh, yeah, I'm a Bobcat. Yeah, Chris. Yep. I definitely went to Ohio University, graduate there, 1989. Started in 82. Typical Bobcat. But I actually wasn't there all that time. I went in the Army for 4 years. Yeah. From Finland, I have been watching, just missed the live streams now. Primal Bear, you're from Finland? I didn't know that. It's funny because I was reading about the Soviet campaign. I bought Strategy and Tactics today at the bookstore when I had to go in and get a new UPS. The battery in my UPS died. I got pretty good use out of it, but when I was doing the broadcast this morning for the rugby, it just started this and I had to walk in the living room, and that's what it was. All my TV, my Roku, my splicer or video divider, because I only have a couple USB connections on the back of the frickin' TV. They used to have like 6 or 7. Then they made newer TVs. They have like 2. So you have to buy one of these devices, and they're not that reliable anyway. Chinese made, so I can change devices. Anyway, that's on the back there. So all that's plugged into the ups, and the ups died. But that battery is like 9 or 10 years old, so it's pretty good. They're only guaranteed for 2 years. So I looked online. A battery costs $60. So I went to buy another battery. The only place around, there aren't no electronic stores around anymore. CompUSA went Tango Uniform years ago. Best Buy sucks and it's too far away. So they have no Office Depot. They went out of business. Office Max went out of business. So all that's left is Staples. So I went to Staples, and they don't have any batteries. And their selection of ups has declined, and it's only APC, which is a brand I prefer, which is actually not even American anymore. Now Schneider Electric owns it. I discovered that. It's owned by Schneider. I had no idea. So the German company now owns APC, which used to be a flagship American brand and led the way in the manufacture of uninterrupted power supplies. Well, now we don't even do that anymore. See, we're selling ourselves down the river. Anyway, and it's not just to Asians. It's also to the Germans. So anyway, so my choice was to not have a battery. And given the frequent power interruptions we've had of late with the construction going on around here and the weather, that's not a good idea because everything gets lost, all your settings, your passwords, and everything just get dumped. Or buy a new one from there. Well, I went ahead and bought one there. I'll order a battery online, and then I will have a backup one. But the model that I have, the 575, was a flat one with space on intentionally in case you had an oversized plug. And some of these stupid plugs that come from little devices are oversized because they're converting down to 12 volt DC from 120. Anyway, and you need that space to reduce it, the volts and chill it out. Anyway, so now I have one that has the same number of connections, but it doesn't have those gaps in it. And 3 of the connections are only surge protectors. They're not surge protector and battery backup. So I've got anyways, so that's plugged in. Oh, jeez. What a pain in the butt. Anyway. Yep. Athens County. Yeah, do a lot of rucking in that area. Well, I did a lot too for ROTC. We mean rucking. Rucking as in rugby or rucksacking? I did rucksacking. I didn't play. Primal Bar, I didn't know you were from Finland. That's news to me. Okay. We have another viewer from Finland who's been AWOL. Haven't seen him in a while. He used to be in here all the time. Corky. Hey, what's going on there, Courtney? What's going on? I haven't seen you in here for a bit. You popped in a few weeks ago. How's it going? Oh, you're just in Finland, long-term filming project. Okay. I think you told me that before, Primal Bar. Yeah. We actually have a Finnish guy here. Thought it was a girl, but it's a guy when I first saw his name. Anyway, good to see you're doing well. Okay, Radio Shack we missed. Yeah, Radio Shack is gone. CompUSA is gone. We had a couple other, back in the day, computer stores. Circuit City, which was never very good. That's gone. All that stuff is gone. And you're almost forced to buy everything. I need a new keyboard because this mechanical keyboard sucks. I want I want a membrane keyboard instead, so it doesn't make all the damn noise. Easier on my hands too. And there's none. They have membrane keyboards, but they're all wireless. I don't want wireless. I want a wired membrane keyboard, and I want one with the gaming colors on it. So I have to go online. I can't find them in the stores because they just don't stock stuff. Okay, power outage in a storm where I lived so many years ago that I barely remember lasted about 45 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I don't want a big battery. It's, what's this? Yeah, 39,000 feet. Yeah, well, that's what happened to the Air Florida flight. Battery caught fire in the hold. Circuit City gone, Radio Shack gone, Best Buy. Best Buy sucks too. Best Buy used to be amazing. Best Buy got turned into basically a mobile phone reseller. That's what they became. And appliances, that's about it. They used to have all these DVDs, all these computer games. Oh, I used to love going to Best Buy. I went to Best Buy when it first started becoming something because it's a Minnesota store. It's a brand from Minnesota, and I was in Iowa. And they had a huge Best Buy in Des Moines, and I used to go there. Oh, I'll never forget, man. I went there and bought this and bought that and bought this and bought that and bought this. And that's back when I was buying video cards and motherboards and parts. All that stuff was in there, man. It was awesome. Yep. We used to have, what was the one? There was one in Columbus, Ohio, which was amazing back in the 1980s. The best computer store for the age. It was in Columbus, Comp something computer. Anyway, but that place, I bought a game called Balance of Power, which was awesome. Played on my PC back then. It was an amazing game. Basically, Soviet Union and in the West, yeah. Yeah, Best Buy is horrible now. It used to be wonderful. Now it just sucks. So it really sucks for me. You know, people like, are you a gamer? I mean, what's the point? The games all suck. You got to go through Steam. Steam sucks at Buttermilk. It is the worst service. It only now works for the first time ever. I've had it for years. Software that I purchased that wasn't through Steam, when I loaded on my new computers, old ones from CDs, when I ran it, it would be associated with Steam, and then I couldn't run the damn thing because the versions wouldn't work on my computer. I hate it. Worked for Best Buy, and it really sucked. Ended up walking out on them. Well, I understand that. Listed for 6 years, and she followed my footsteps. Okay, I missed something. Who followed your footsteps? Just did a lot. AOL. I had AOL and CompuServe and Prodigy. Yeah, you can only take certain size batteries that you don't want to blow up at 39,000 feet. That's right. Radio Shack was not a music shop. A Radio Shack was a electronic shop, and they sold everything you can imagine. Every little connector, wire, device, cathode, transistor, anything you can think of, they had it all. And they made a poor transition to the computer age. They still survived for a long time. It's owned by the Tandy Corporation. And they actually had computers. The early PC computers included the TRS-80, Tandy Radio Shack 80, which was pretty good for its time. But that was about it. They burned out. Lights on revealed Kitty Mayhem while she's, oh my goodness, got in the cupboard, pulled the blankets out, spilt their water all over them. Yin Yang chewed a huge hole in my vacuum cleaner bag. Oh my goodness. Smack those cats. Utopi, hello to you. Okay, what else have I got here? Oh, your youngest daughter is an ROTC at Xavier. I missed that part. Okay. Okay. Xavier's cool school down in Cincinnati. Or Dayton. Yeah, it's Dayton, right? Dayton. Yep. Best Buy is crap. It is. It is. It used to be amazing. Willem Hart, I'm doing fine. Sandile Nsibi, good evening. Even Elden Ring, Night Rain. No, I'm not talking about the games. I'm talking about Steam. Steam sucks. I have it now. So on my desktop, as far as gaming, although I got to clean some of this hard drive, I got Total War Medieval 2, Total War Empire Definitive Edition, Sid Meier's Civilization 5, Hearts of Iron 3, Age of Empires, and then I've got a couple others on here that I'm not seeing. Stellaris, I've got that one. That's a tough one to figure out. Yeah, and it works now, but for years it just didn't work. It was such a pain in the butt. I hate it. And when I was in Africa, it's a real pain. But I hated all this download stuff on software when you're in Africa. I mean, it was all freaking dial-up, and it would take hours to download things. And these bastards would, anyway. So I lost so much stuff in Africa because the downloads, you've already downloaded the Apple Store. I said, no, I didn't. I got like 35 kilobytes and the damn thing crapped out. Well, you download it. What the hell are you talking about? I paid you $10 for this. Give it to me. Get the Radio Shack components to build everything from radios to nuclear bombs. Yeah, exactly. Passing out free AOL compact disc was genius. It was, Holden. It was. But where's AOL now? It's still around. Became part of Time Warner, and it's still around now. But it's... Do you know there's still like 40 million AOL email accounts? People just resistant to change. Well, look at me. I've still got email account I've had since 1996. All right, that looks like Courtney's out of here. What's your read on the meeting Trump had with the African leaders today? Well, I talked about it during it. We covered it live, Mark. I guess you missed that. But I do have an update on that. So the meeting with the African leaders, contrast that with what would happen with Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa interrupted President Trump when a reporter asked a question and rudely, first off, showed up 30 minutes late. Bad form. So the lunch started late. This lunch started on time. Lunch started late, 30 minutes late, keep the President of the United States waiting. Then they go into the thing and he pleads ignorance and claims that there's no racism, that they disavow the singing Kill the Boer. And as soon as he goes back to South Africa in front of the camera, he says, no, it's free speech. We're not going to do anything about it. So why'd you lie to Trump? You've just pissed him off. And then Ramaphosa interrupted, said, I'll answer this. First off, it's your host. It's not your place to interrupt and take the question from a reporter unless Trump asks you to take it. And then he proceeded to lecture Trump. It will take President Trump listening to South Africans. Anyway, meanwhile, today, leaders showed up. All 5 of them were polite, respectful, professional. All of them complimented Trump, especially on his efforts to broker peace in the DRC, which has never happened in 30 plus years. He's achieved it. It'll probably not last, but at least he achieved it. And the president of Senegal is no longer a Macky Sall, thank goodness. He's gone. But the new president of Senegal kind of sucked up to Trump, this little, teacher's pet sort of thing. But that's fine. Basically, all of them said, hey, listen, we value our relationship with the United States. We realize we're small countries, but we matter. And we'd like to be partners of the U.S. We have things to offer, like minerals and, development. We'd like you to invest in our economy, and we're here to be part of the team. That's basically what they said. Very different than Ramaphosa. His arrogance, thinking he's on the same level as Trump. Don't dream on, Ramaphosa. You're not even on the same level as the CEO of Dunkin' Donuts. Honestly, give me a freaking break. That's my read on that, Mark. Now, in the aftermath of that, turns out Trump wants these countries to take criminal alien invaders. I don't want that. I don't want Liberia full of criminal alien invaders. That's the last thing Liberia needs. But where did he put that? I got that story here. Hang on. Why is this? I can't stop this damn thing from running. I got it here somewhere. U.S. pushes more African countries accept deported migrants. They're not migrants, Wall Street Journal. They're criminal alien invaders. I'm so sick of this nonsense. Start calling them what they are, you lying sacks of manure. Okay, let's do this so we don't have that. There we go. All right. 5 countries whose leaders held talks with Trump at the White House were sent a U.S. proposal to accept deportees. Before the leaders of Liberia, Senegal, Mauritania, Gabon, and Guinea-Bissau arrived for the summit, the State Department sent each country a request to take in criminal alien invaders, underscoring the overlap between the administration's aggressive deportation campaign and its foreign policy. Trump appeared to allude to the U.S. request during the Wednesday summit. I hope we can bring down the high rates of people overstaying visas and also make progress on safe third country agreements. Yep, so there you go. Interesting. U.S. diplomats were asked to tell their West African counterparts that hosting third country nationals was the most important issue for Trump. The U.S. has been pursuing migrant agreements with other countries, including Libya, Rwanda, Benin, Eswatini, Moldova, Mongolia, and Kosovo. Well, I think you should send them all to Moldova and Mongolia. Yep. In addition to the meeting with Trump, administration officials arranged for Mauritanian and Israeli officials to hold talks that included the U.S. on the establishment of diplomatic relations. According to people, an agreement would expand the so-called Abraham Accords. So look at that. Now Mauritania is being pulled into the Abraham Accords. Everywhere Trump goes, peace breaks out, peace breaks out, peace breaks out. All we do is win, win, win. They all showed respect, unlike Cupcake. Exactly. When will Putin kiss Trump's butt? Never. Not going to happen. Putin needs PK. Gene Spence, welcome to you. Blokeup says people would return laptops at Best Buy. They said it doesn't go into the internet like the display models. Then we asked them what web browser used, and they didn't know what a web browser. Exactly, because they're stupid. Yeah, well, it was the early days of the internet. Obviously, a lot of stupid people. You'd be surprised at how many things people don't understand on computers, the internet today, and other things. I'm going to talk about something about that, not that specifically, but on those lines in a moment. What's this? The new ones on your phones? My father-in-law still uses AOL. Yeah, there you go. Or still used AOL. Yep. Age of Empires is fun, but the new ones on your phone is not nearly the same. Yep. What's your read? Okay, I read that. Okay. Hamkin has all the resources. Okay. Passing out for AOL. Okay, we got that already. Okay, opinion is that it could be a very good scare tactic. It might prevent people from staying in the USA. Well, I think it's a good scare tactic. I agree. Shannon says if they send them to Africa, they'll soon be in South Africa given our great border control. Why don't they send them back to country of origin? Because they won't take them. And so I think those countries should be slapped with a 200% tariff. They're your nationals. They're your citizens. Take them back. I mean, that should be the minimum that a country should be able to do is take back its citizens. Mauritania would be an excellent penal colony. I've been to Mauritania. I lived there. It would make an excellent penal colony. Yep, I can pick. I've got several places to build a damn prison. Yep. Did Britain ever succeed in sending illegal? Yes, they did. They sent some to Rwanda already. Because a lot of them won't disclose their nationality. Is your windows open? Hell no, it's too cold. 50% tariff, they're reeling. Oh yeah, well they deserve it. And I got that too. You guys are jumping ahead of me. Trump threatens Brazil with a 50% tariff because of the Bolsonaro trial. Yep, it's the highest yet in the president's flurry of letters to world leaders. The U.S. will charge a 50% tariff on Brazilian goods starting August 1st. Trump announced in a letter to the Latin American country government on Wednesday, citing legal action against his former president and U.S. tech firms as justification. Yeah, they censored Twitter, and they went after Bolsonaro, and they gushed on about BRICS. So screw Brazil. Screw Brazil. Screw Brazil. Screw Brazil. Screw Brazil. Never lived there, but hated staying overnight. Not even a freaking beer in the whole country, and the water tastes like crap. Well, I didn't drink the water. I drank bottled water. There's nothing to do. It's the most boring place I've ever been in my life. Yep. Botswana is exciting by comparison. Bolsonaro, the leader of Brazil's political right and longtime Trump ally, is on trial in Brazil over an alleged coup against the sitting government, which wasn't a coup. He won the election, and we know what happened. Anyway, so there you go. Tariffs. So if it's 50% now, and if he applies at 10% on August 1st, that'd be 60%. Ouch. Should have given Ramaphosa a lawnmower. There you go. Sand and flower. Why, is he a garden boy? But I'm not the garden boy. Who stole my iPad? My iPad was here. It was here a moment ago. Who stole my iPad? Yes, Bolsonaro is the previous president. Yep, they're using lawfare. They eat avocado with sugar in Brazil. That's disgusting. Avocado is fine, but with sugar, that's disgusting. Can we not ship him somewhere? Okay, so, all right, we've got through the chat here. Trump is really integrating political policies and concerns with tariffs. Former presidents just focused on the economics while Trump uses a catch-all. Trump is using as a cudgel. He's using his weapon to get foreign policy in place, and it's working. It's working. Denmark refused to do anything to defend Greenland against the Soviets, against the Russians, against the Chinese. And Trump threatened to invade Greenland or buy it. And now they're going to spend $1 billion putting ships there and building a marine base to defend it, maritime base. There you go. That's what Trump wanted. Colombia threatened, wouldn't let our plane land with their criminal aliens that we sent back there after they gave approval for it to go. So Trump said 50% tariffs today, 100% next week. Within an hour, they took the prison. Panama was negotiating with a Chinese company to give them control of the Panama Canal. That's not the deal that we signed in 1979 when James Earl Carter foolishly gave back the Canal Zone, American territory. So Trump said, we'll just take it back. We'll invade and take over the Canal Zone. Well, Panama can't stop us. So the Chinese are out. They're no longer part of it. Now, American companies are among the bidders. What's the point of having avocado? Well, not putting sugar on it. That's disgusting. Military spec laptops. I don't know what you're talking about. We have some shock resistant ones, but they're not really that shock resistant. There's no such thing as military spec, military grade. That's just some marketing thing. I use laptops. We use HPs. Yep. If you read the Australian articles, though, it seems as if the Australian government is getting very chummy with China. Yeah, they are getting very chummy, even though that they're trying to box China out of the Pacific Islands. iPad being carried by Stonehouse or McPherson. Panasonic marketing tricks. Yes. Okay, so I want to say the following. Not a big audience. We got about 200 people here now, and I think everyone here knows this. But folks, I'm getting lots of heart-wrenching emails, voice notes, WhatsApp messages that I've not solicited. Some people ask me if they can write me, and I say, okay, you send me a note, and then they send me a freaking, a biography and days of stuff. And let me be very clear. I've been clear from the very beginning. I don't know why people think that I am like a refugee case officer. I'm not. I don't work for the U.S. government. I don't influence the U.S. government. Well, actually, I do, but unintentionally. I don't directly influence them. It's because they watch my content. But I don't like pick up the phone and go, hey, do this. That doesn't work that way. So people asking me to get them interviews, people asking me to get them out of South Africa, I have no ability to do that. And even if I had the ability to do that, that is not something I would just simply do for people I don't know. I mean, there are a million sob stories. I don't mean to be callous and cold. I'm not. I'm just telling you, there's a million sob stories. If I had that ability, I would burn that capital up very quickly and lose that privilege. I certainly wouldn't be giving out to people that I don't know. I don't know why people think that that I have this capability. I don't. I've never implied. I've never stated. I've never claimed. So please don't put your hopes on me getting you out of South Africa, because that's not my role. I don't have that authority, and I've never claimed to have it. Yes, people need to listen here, and I do listen, and maybe that's what it is. But they put me in a position where they try to, whether intentional or not, trying to make me feel guilty that I can't do anything for them. Army intel interview postponed until I can get more baby oil. Well, Arctic, if you need baby oil, we'll just send you with Jay-Z. How many historical sites are there? How many historical sites, Tom? That depends what you find as a historical site. You mean National Historical Register? No idea. No idea. Stuff all over the country is designated historical sites. My ancestor's house in Brooklyn, the Wyckoff House, the oldest man-made structure in the state of New York, is in Brooklyn. It is the Wyckoff House, built in the 1600s originally. I think the foundation was built like 1620s or something like that. My ancestors, the Dutch, settled there. No, not 1620s, 1660s or 1680s, yeah. It's the oldest structure in New York. Been there. It's a private museum. It's a national historical spot. Very sweet old lady and husband came into Best Buy once. Their laptop froze up. The Geek Squad unfroze it, and the web browser defaulted back to the last website visit. It was a filthy porn site. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's because they wound up locking up with some script that was trying to run their browser and do things. Another thing, somehow some people just have that kind of inviting personality where strangers are drawn just share to talk. And maybe that's what it is, Xavier. Maybe that's what it is. So I'm not telling people don't write to me. I'm just saying that don't pin your hopes, because, I mean, it's not something I have the power to do. Going shopping for a fridge, so hopefully have one by next week. Difficult. Yeah, I need a new fridge. My fridge is, the problem is that they don't make them like they do anymore. That fridge is from 1995. It is 30 years old. Bought that fridge in Ames, Iowa. I bought it in Des Moines at Best Buy. That's where I bought it. Yep, bought it at Best Buy and had it shipped to my house. That and a washer dryer. The washer and dryer, the washer crapped out. The dryer was still good, but those are gone now. And they replaced those a couple years ago at Samsung's. They're very good. Not perfect, but very good. The agitators had a few problems, but that fridge is old and it's noisy and it kicks on all the time. Probably uses a lot more power than it needs to. But the new ones are these stupid 2-door things. I don't like a 2-door fridge. I don't like that. I like a 1-door refrigerator, and I don't like the colors they come up with. So they also want $3,000-$4,000 for a refrigerator. I think I paid $600 for that one. Mark gives $20. Woo! Check that out, man. Thank you so much. Wow, wasn't expecting that this hour of the night. Is the alert box off? No, the alert box is on, so it hasn't come up yet. Where is that alert? Come on up there. You're doing so much already, and I'm sorry to be harsh, but it's not cool to expect you to rescue everyone. It's impossible, but I guess it's a compliment. Yeah, no, Shannon, I think that's what it is. It must be a compliment, but I mean, I get rebukes from people like, why aren't you doing this? Why don't you care? I mean, you only care about rich people. You only care about paying people. For the 1 billionth time, no one is expected to pay on my channel. I don't hide content behind a paywall. I should start doing that. I should start doing it because we have 2,000 paying members now, and I should put a little bit of content behind there. In the past, for paying members, I've released a video that's historical or tells a story and let them have it for 3 or 4 days or a week before the public could see it. But thank you, Mark, for the super chat. Super sticker, I should say. So, you don't have to pay. All I ask is you become a subscriber and watch content. That's all I ask. The advertising revenue picks up and it makes a difference. That's helping pay some tax bills now, the advertising revenue. Let me just take a look and see. This month is slow. Last month wasn't great. Month before was very good. So let me take a look at, that's not what I want. I need to go to analytics. Analytics. Okay. So yeah, May was very good. I was in South Africa and I came back and we had that huge day. That huge day counted one of the bigger days I've had on the channel. When we had 181,000 tune in, 16,000 simultaneously for the White House meeting. Yeah, so May was very good. June was decent. This month is very slow. Over a week into it, and I have less than 20% of what I made last month. But advertising revenue, that's dropped a bit, but it's still pretty good. It's still more than I ever made in this channel by a wide margin. But yeah, anyway. Yep. Only 67 freezers that's still going 100% like new. Oh, that's awesome, Jacques. Mini fridge for the basement bar today, 200 hours from Home Depot, including delivery installation. Amazing. You have to install a mini fridge. I mean, all you do is plug it in. Take it out of the box and plug it in. What installation is there? It's not like does it have like some sort of software you got to set up? Good entertainment when my family's sleeping, says Mark. Okay. Since we're a small audience, I would just say it's frustrating when they constantly ask the same questions. Yeah, no, that is frustrating, Phoenix. But also, when we say we're a small audience, actually we're not. 200 people is pretty good. I mean, I struggled for years to get audiences over 100. For a long time, a really good audience for me would be 75 to 125. So I'm very grateful for the 205 people here right now. It's really awesome. My nighttime night owls now are bigger, 2 or 3 times larger. Now, when I started doing this, I was getting 400 or 500 people coming in, and that kind of faded quickly because most of them were just there for FG stuff. Yep. White House meeting is why Mark is here today. Cool. Mini fridge used to be $100. We had, I paid $60 for my first one, I think. 49 or $50. Yeah, we had many night owls. We had many news programs of 50 people already, didn't we? Only 110 likes. So 122 is what I've got. Right? So I did a few songs, but they're not very good, guys. Let me see what you think. I don't think they're very good, so hang on. Oh, shoot. Did I get rid of that? Oh, I hope I didn't close that off. No, I didn't. Okay, I'm going to change this. Okay, let me try this again. I'm going to do it with pop, though. Okay, so I made a song and it didn't come out very well. I did 2 versions. This is my 3rd version, so I'm wasting my credits trying to get the right song. The lyrics weren't great, so I tried hip hop, sucked. Tried country, sucked. Now I'm trying it with dance pop, and it's Catgate. So the first one's Catgate Unfolded, then it was Catgate Blues, and now it's Cat Got Your Tongue. So let's see how this goes. All right, so here I'll play the hip hop, which isn't very good. You ready for this? I don't like this. Hang on, I won't play the whole thing.
Whispers in the halls where the shadows creep. Secrets buried deep while the nation weeps. S on the line, but the truth won't come. Cat got your tongue, Cyril, where's the drum? Cat gate rising, it's a dangerous game. Shutting down the fires, but you're fanning the flame. Words locked up tight like a vault with no key. Is this your Waterloo or will you break free? Ministers play chess while the people wait. Justice on the table, served up cold on a plate. It's
better the second time around.
Foes' name tangled in the plot. The truth's a slippery fish and it can't be caught. Catgate rising, it's a dangerous game.
Actually better the second time around.
Shutting down the fires, but you're fanning the flame. Words locked up tight like a vault with no key. Is this your Waterloo or will you break free? The air feels heavy like a storm's about to hit. Dodging every question in a public pit. But the people see the cracks in the polished stone. Cyril, your silence has a weight of its own.
It's actually better than I thought. It didn't sound so great. Now, I tried it country, and this is not so great.
Down in the valley, where the whispers run deep.
You just don't say Ramaphosa in this version.
A tale of a scandal stirs the folks from their sleep. The lawman's hands tied, truth lost in the air. The minister's silence, a burden to bear. Oh, cat got your tongue, what's a story to tell? Justice locked up in a cold prison cell. The folks are all
Actually, that's better. It grows on me first time. Okay, let's try. These are the ones we just made while you were here. It's called Cat Got Your Tongue. This is about Cyril Ramaphosa and Catgate as I'm labeling what's going on here. All right, so this is dance, playful pop.
Cat got your tongue, now you're on the run, dodging the spotlight like it's a loaded gun. The scandals burn and the claws are out. Cyril's Catgate is the talk, no doubt. Cat got your tongue, or did you bite it? Truth's in the air, but you just fight it. Shadows creeping like a whispered song. Tell me, Cyril, how could this go so wrong? Paws are silent, but claws leave marks. Hiding secrets in the darkest parks. The chase is on, but the trail's gone cold. What's the price of stories left untold? Cat got your tongue, now you're on the run, dodging the spotlight like it's a loaded gun. The scandals burn and the claws are out. Cyril's Catgate is the talk, no doubt. Cyril's Catgate is the talk, no doubt.
Cat Got Your Tongue.
Footprints fade where the whispers start. Promises break like a brittle heart. The truth's a tiger you can't tame. Can you feel the heat of the burning flame? The clock is ticking, but the hands won't spin. A house of cards can't hold the wind. The whispers roar like a lion's cry. Tell me, Cyril, can you look us in the eye? Cat got your tongue, now you're on the run, dodging the spotlight like it's a loaded gun. The scandals purring and the claws are out. Cyril's Catgate is the talk, no doubt.
Oh, we have tariff songs. 90 Days is a tariff song. I like this one. It's pretty good. Cyril's Catgate.
Cat got your tongue, now you're on the run, dodging the spotlight like it's a loaded gun. The scandals purring and the claws are out. Cyril's Catgate is the talk, no doubt.
Thank you, Felicity, for the 20 rand. I gave version number 2. That was pretty good, actually, for version 1. Usually they suck.
Cat got your tongue, now you're on the run, dodging the spotlight like it's loaded gun. The scandals purring and the claws are out. Cyril's Catgate is the
Enjoy work,
talk, no
Arnold.
doubt.
I like the sax.
Did you bite it? Truth's in the air, but you just fight it. Shadows creeping like a whispered song. Tell me, Cyril, how could this go so wrong? Paws are silent, but claws leave marks. Hiding secrets in the darkest parks. The chase is on, but the trail's gone cold. What's the price of stories left untold? Cat got your tongue, now you're on the run, dodging the spotlight like it's loaded gun. The scandals burn and the claws are out. Cyril's Catgate is the talk, no doubt.
Love the sax. Like a spinnacle.
Footprints fade where the whispers start.
This is the one.
Promises break like a brittle heart. The truth's a tiger you can't tame. Can you feel the heat of the burning flame? The clock is ticking, but the hands won't spin. A house of cards can't hold the wind. The whispers roar like a lion's cry. Tell me, Cyril, can you look us in the eye? Cat got your tongue, now you're on the run. Dodging the spotlight like it's loaded gun. The scandal's purring and the claws are out. Cyril's cat gate is the top, no doubt.
Yeah, this one's good. Oh, here comes the sax. Makes me think of Clarence Clemens. Oh, wow, that was pretty good. Oops, now I was playing on. Yeah, so there you go, folks. Wow, that was Cat Got Your Tongue. For Cyril. Cat got your tongue. Blizzard. That's not Blizzard. I'm getting all these fake things trying to get me to sign up. It says it's Blizzard, but the addresses are all from Macedonia or Sweden. Macedonia. Black Desert Online, massively multiplayer online role gaming, developed by Pearl Abyss, a South Korean game developer. Yeah, they're not real. These are fake things trying to suck me in. Trying to suck me in. Anyway, yeah, so that's Cat Got Your Tongue. You guys like that one? Should jog past Cyril's house in Joburg every morning and play this as loud as possible. A lot of beps in there. Email it to Cyril. Yeah, Maddie, you don't need sleep. You need more coffee. Coworker of mine couldn't get her AI-controlled oven to set right temperature, so she started swearing it. Then the AI lectured on a choice of words and gave her suicide numbers. Now I want to be in a bride with DJ Colonel. Well, actually, somebody named me. Who named me? Was it Xavier? Somebody called me DJ Silver Eagle. That's the artist name I chose because I have to have one for the distribution of the music. So the producer is Indaba Africa, and the artist is DJ Silver Eagle. There you go. Yeah, I love the saxophone. I need to tell him that, but saxophone is such a long word, it eats a lot of my characters. So I need to put that in the next one. I need to do a jazz version with a sax solo. That'd be cool. Jazz version with a sax solo. DJ Silver Eagle. There you go, man. That's it. DJ Silver Eagle. Now you know it. That's out there. So once that song hits Spotify, then I'll go ahead and start loading other ones up. Yep. Love the version with the sax. Would go down well in clubs. Yeah, you know, it's like Jellyfish. I mean, Jellyfish is good. Yeah, it's also, you know, silver hair, eagle. Yep. There's my shirt without sleeves. Don't get sucked. What is that? Jellyfish is awesome. Yeah. DJ Silver Eagle. You guys like that, huh? Was it you, Xavier, that gave me that? I think it was. Hold on. Got to get the sunglasses. I got my sunglasses, man. I was prepared for that. I was prepared to that one. There you go. I'm ready for that, man. I was ready for that. Here we go. Here we go. I won't be blinded by light. Blinded by the light. Black like a deucer in the ruiner of the night. No idea what the hell they were saying. Three Dog Night. Yeah. Hitting a pizza. Yeah, there we go. That would be cool. Here we go. There we go. Got that up. Yeah. Now we're talking. It's time for a little jellyfish sway. Jellyfish sway, folks. Yeah, jellyfish sway. That's the one.
Blue lights flash, they're out of sync.
I don't want that one. I want the one that's got the freaking lyrics. That version is not there. Hang on. Let me get back to the other one. Where's it at? Just had it. There it is. Jellyfish sway. Here we go.
Blue lights flash, they're out of sync. Promises fade, gone in a blink. Wrong place, wrong time. What's the plan? Spinning words, but they don't land. Oh, jellyfish sway. Ooh, yeah. Floating promises drift away. South Africa.
Blue Machine is on the march, winning metro elections. Oh yeah, not. Coming your way, South Africa's municipal elections. The Blue Machine is on the march from PE to Cape Town. The jellyfish sway. Now we're in a nightclub here, folks. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Silver Eagle with you tonight. Jellyfish Way. Join us every Friday night in Guguletu, Saturdays in Kailicha, and every third Monday in Alexandria. Jellyfish Sway. That's a top hit right here on Radio Afterlife. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lovely morning in South Africa, the land of the rising sun. No, that's actually Japan, folks. That's Japan. Silver Eagle is soaring. You should post a video. Leckerton, best morning show in the world. Yeah, I need to work on that, make a video. I got a lot of them. But I love the Springbok one I did. That's pretty cool. I paid nice tribute to some Springboks. Some Henry Mulder, Ferry Hetley, Heatley, lots of Nasbotas in there, lots of legends of Springboks in there. Yep. Sees all from high above, spreading word far and wide. Your local radio stations need your morning mix to get everyone in the mood. Yeah, well, that one's cool. I like the dance, but club music's cool, but unfortunately my hip won't cooperate, but in the day I could dance and dance and dance and dance. Yep, I did. Dance the night away. Yep. What is this membership? Let's go on this. Okay, somebody sent me a membership thing. Anyway, so Trump met with leaders of 5 African countries. Those were Gabon, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mauritania, Senegal. Of course, Gabon, Mauritania, and Senegal all spoke French. Guinea-Bissau spoke Portuguese. And President Boakai from Liberia spoke English, to which President Trump seemed quite amazed. Your English is very good. Where did you learn that at? In Liberia. Here's your sign. That was kind of messed up. Get a new hit on special this week in Netcare. No, thank you. I really enjoy these early morning shows. This sets the tone for that. Well, that's good, Rakes. I'm glad I'm calling for this revolution remix. Be hate speech in South Africa. Dirk, I don't know. That's interesting. Two-step shuffle is also regarded dancing. I wish I could do it like in Afrikaans. If I could, if they get that AI switch around, so do it in German and Afrikaans, that'd be cool to do some lyrics for that. That would be really cool. So let me see if there's any other there's right here that we need to play real quick to get the mood right. Cargate. Oh, it's Catgate. Excuse me, not Cargate. Heart of a Nation slipping away. This one's pretty good. I like that one. Yeah. Get It Together is pretty good too. I like that one. Which one do you guys want to hear? Heart of a Nation slipping away or Get It Together? Both are pretty good. German would be awesome, yeah. But I mean, it doesn't do that yet. So anyway, which one do you guys want to hear? Any thoughts? Give Trump a break. He cannot always be right. No, I know, Irene. I'm just saying. It's look. I said I would hold the president to account. I'm not just a sycophant here. I hold the president to account, and I'm holding the account. You know, he got it wrong. It's not a trivial thing. It's kind of embarrassing. But you know, so just like when he said these represent grave mounds, he misspoke. You know, so Guten Tag. Heart of a Nation. Okay, once you can get some of these songs in Afrikaans, yeah, it would be great, Dirk. Yep. It would be great. I wonder if I like put some Afrikaans lyrics in there and see if it catches on and just does it in Afrikaans. Would that be something? Would that be something? What did somebody tell me earlier? What does the U.S. really want from South Africa? This tariff is really about trade. We know BE, you see, just noise. You think that's just noise? It's not noise. Okay, so news in Zulu. Thank you for joining us this evening. Okay, I'll tell you what USA wants from South Africa. The end of racial discrimination. The same thing we wanted during the apartheid era. It was wrong and morally reprehensible when the National Party did it. It's wrong and morally reprehensible when the ANC does it. Expropriation on compensation. Technically, the ANC should have been removed from the African Growth and Opportunity Act when that bill was introduced in Parliament in 2018. You see a key component. This is what's lost because most South Africans don't know what they're talking about. The African Growth and Opportunity Act was a law that U.S. Congress created, signed by President Clinton, renewed every 5 years until this year. And the law required African governments to voluntarily meet standards for expenditures on healthcare, education, primary and secondary, and for respect for human rights, for justice reform, for democratization, for elections, and also for recognition of private property rights. It was fundamental to have access to AGOA. South Africa has been ineligible for AGOA since 2018. Trump let them stay, Biden let them stay, and then because Ramaphosa lied about expropriation on compensation when he clandestinely signed the bill in December, waited over 30 days before making a big show of signing it in Davos so that the opposition couldn't get 134 votes in Parliament to go directly to the Constitutional Court to have it declared invalid because it's unconstitutional. Now they have to go through a long, drawn-out, years-long court case and hope that a captured court judges correctly. But they could have gotten it before the court immediately. So, yes, the U.S. wants, that's not window dressing. That's what the U.S. really wants. What do you think the U.S. wants? Like all your platinum? Dream on. There's very little South Africa has that the U.S. actually wants. There's very little South Africa sends America that we actually need. Almost nothing. South Africa's a rounding error. It's less than 0.02% of our trade. Our trade, not even our economy, of our trade. It's nothing. We import $12 billion worth of goods from South Africa. It's nothing. $28 trillion economy. 12 billion, that's just spend it. Federal government just spent that. Just spend another 12 billion. It's nothing. It's not about Gaza. It's not. See, you guys got to see. You are so brainwashed, so brainwashed. Okay, stick with me, News in Zulu. I'm glad you're here because I'm going to show you what it's about. A small sampling, and I could go on with dozens of things. So this is not about Trump either. People foolishly don't know the history. They don't know the story. And I find it comical that all these people make content and all these news services in South Africa and the U.S. run around as if they actually know what they're talking about. They don't know their butt from a hole in the ground. And I've been telling people what these problems were for a long time. All right, I'm close to it here. Where's it at? Almost got it. And it was before St. Patrick's Day. Okay. Oh, not quite there yet. Boy, I've done a lot of production here. Okay, come on. That's not it. Okay, here we go. All right, so here it is. Okay, so let's talk about what's at stake. Okay. Okay, it's not about Gaza, my friend. It's not about Gaza. That's just one of many egregious things that South Africa has done to harm U.S. interest. Okay, so these are charts that I made. When did I make these things? What's the date on this? Back in February, I think, was it January? February 14th, I made these. Okay, explain what's going on. Okay, ready? Separate development. What are you talking about? Separate development in South Africa? Dude, do you actually believe that nonsense? So if someone told you America's racist, please, separate development, nonsense. I assume that's what you're talking about. It isn't clear, but okay, here we go. So take a look at this. All right, this is what the U.S. does, okay? Support South Africa's needs in the G20, the IMF, the World Bank, and we just help them in other international fora. Help them get a $1.5 billion loan, which the ANC will simply steal. The annual $20 billion in U.S.-South Africa trade is about 5% of your GDP. We're your second largest trading partner, and South Africa has a significant surplus. You had duty-free access to the U.S. via the AGOA agreement, which was $3 billion in exports to the U.S. USA bought about $430 million in South African mineral exports, which represent 4% of your total mineral exports. From 2003 to 2025, we gave South Africa $8.1 billion to fight HIV/AIDS. And the U.S. provides about $500 million in annual gifted foreign aid to South Africa. That is on the order of 8 billion rand of free money. Okay, so that's the start. Now let's go to... Okay, now here are just some of the things South Africa's done to offend the United States. Okay, not even... This is a small sampling, which I put together back on February 14th, Valentine's Day, my gift to South Africa. So they imposed a 75% tariff on U.S. poultry imports. We didn't impose any tariff on their products. They abstained, refused to condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine when the rest of the world did it. Ramaphosa ran around screaming vaccine apartheid slander when the United States gave Aspen Pharmacare $711 million between the U.S. and the European Union to manufacture jabs for all of Africa. They've not produced a single jab for anyone in Africa. And Ramaphosa ran around screaming vaccine apartheid when he refused to participate in the trials and get early access to the vaccines. He refused to do anything except join the scam UN COVAX failed plan to get these vaccines to countries around the world. And then he screamed vaccine apartheid, insulting America. And we gave him the money, we gave him the centrifuges, we gave him the intellectual property to manufacture it, gave him all the equipment and $711 million. And they haven't produced anything because they put it in their pocket. Oops, sorry, I got ahead of myself. They're cozy with designated terrorist group like Hamas. They refused to condemn Hamas's 7 October 2023 attack, and Lady Pondor even congratulated them on murdering 1,200 civilians. They blamed Israel for Hamas's terror attack. That's ludicrous. And they hosted sanctioned Russian cargo ship Lady R, ignored our polite, discreet diplomatic request for 5 months for an answer on why they had that ship there. Simply ignoring us. They hosted a naval exercise with Chinese communists and with Russia, Operation Mosi 2, 17 to 27 February 2023, when the Russians were sanctioned by almost the entire international community. They have anti-American ties with Moscow, Beijing, and Havana. They're actively trying to undermine U.S. currency with the BRICS currency. Ramaphosa's populist attacks on Trump. I don't know what Trump knows about South Africa, but he can keep his America. We'll keep our South Africa. We've got the video. They joined 8,300 countries attacking the United States over Trump's ICC sanctions in February 2025, and they refused to sign an Article 98 waiver for the Rome Statute protecting our troops back in 2003. Demanded Taipei close their diplomatic mission. Taipei is a close friend of the United States, forcing them to have just a trade office. And it gets worse. They violated the Vienna Convention, charging us diplomatic aircraft fees, which is outside the norm. Where'd you go, Zulu News? Did you disappear? They violated the Vienna Convention. They are a money laundering center, a terror financing center. That's one of the reasons why they're gray listed. They authorized the United States sanctioned Russian military cargo plane to land at a South African Air Force base. They recruited former U.S. and NATO pilots to train people's, thank you, News and Zulu, to train People's Liberation Army at the Test Flying Academy of South Africa. They participated in a CCP-funded political training school in Tanzania to teach authoritarian ideology. That's just a small sampling of the things that South Africa has done to harm the U.S. interests. Yep. So it's not Trump, though. That's what's lost on people. It's not Trump, ladies and gentlemen. The ANC has been crapping on U.S. national interests for 25, 30 years. Yep. This is something that also pisses Trump off in particular, but also pissed off Congress. The condescending bigotry displayed towards Afrikaners. Yep. Only poor Afrikaners will go to America's refugees. That's what the media and an Afrikaner spokesman said. So, the list goes on and on. The poor condition of South Africa's black population is a consequence of the kleptocracy of the ANC, stealing billions of dollars from the arms deal, Oilgate, Travelgate, Nkandla, the Vreda Dairy Farm, the asbestos tender, Zandile Gomeda's 168 counts of fraud in eThekwini, the PPE scandals, digital vibes. I mean, the list goes on and on. All of these things we find egregious. But South Africa has intentionally undermined U.S. interests, and particularly when it comes to Iran, Israel, and Russia. Yep. Thank you, News for Zulu, for listening. It's just a small smattering. And let's just talk about what's happened in the past week. In the past week, South Africa has intentionally insulted the United States in several ways. The first way, well, Cyril Ramaphosa comes back from the meeting in May, and he goes to an event in South Africa, and he walks around, and they turn the lights down, and he started laughing with Dee McPherson next to him, cackling like a hyena. And he goes, I thought they were pulling a Trump on me, turning the lights down, dim the lights, laughing, making fun of the President of the United States. Trump probably doesn't care about that, but that's not acceptable. He sent an ambassador here, was an avowed racist who called Trump the leader of a white global supremacy movement. That's ludicrous. And then on top of that, he called Americans racist after we welcomed him into our country for a second time. He had been the ambassador here before, but when we had a black president, it was cool. We don't have a black president, so everyone else is a racist. I'm sorry, Raheem Rasul, you've been PNG'd. And Persona non grata is one of my songs too. So you got that. Then you've got Ramaphosa doing that. He comes back. He tells Trump that he disavows the kill the Boer. And we don't agree with that. That's just a fringe opposition party. Not his exact words, but his sentiment in the Oval Office. But he comes back to South Africa, and 2 days later he says, oh, no, we're not going to do anything. That's free speech. That's constitutionally guaranteed. They can sing that song all they want. But you can't show the Union flag, which has nothing to do with apartheid. It is not an apartheid symbol. And anybody that claims it's apartheid is an idiot. It's nothing to do with apartheid. I don't like the Union flag. I think it's silly. 3 little flags on top of another flag. I never thought it was very impressive. But it is not hate speech. But it is called hate speech in South Africa. But you can sing kill the Boer, burn them out, burn them down. I mean, what the hell is that? And then they deny it. So he comes back and he says it's free speech. Then this past week, what happens? Well, first off, Ronnie Lamola goes to the Sherpa conference. Sun City. The United States can't make it. So they politely, as good diplomats do, and I know this, I worked in a dozen embassies. Well, actually, I was stationed in 8, and I've worked in about 40 embassies in Africa, the Middle East, and Europe as a military officer. And I know how this works. Been to hundreds of, if not thousands, of diplomatic functions, and wrote note verbals, authored for the ambassador and deputy chief of mission, and my own note verbals, and all these diplomatic notes. So he says that the U.S. sending a letter, and he told the press this, sending a letter doing the correct diplomatic protocol, saying we're unable to attend, we can't send representatives. A representative had to go to the NATO summit, so we don't have the right person available. Well, he said, well, we take that as an apology. Insulting America. It wasn't an apology. Anybody who knows about diplomacy knows it was an apology. Very insulting, condescending from Ronnie Lamola, who is clueless and detached from reality. So that happened this week. Then we had the U.S. Africa Business Summit. It's an annual event. Last year was in Dallas. This year it was in Luanda. I mean, it's 2 hours from Joburg by plane. Very quick to get there. Not a problem. 14 African heads of state. Yes, I know there's 54 countries, but 14 African heads of state sent their heads of state there. The head of the country went there because they figured the business with the U.S. is that important, particularly in light of the sanctions, or not, got me saying no, particularly in light of the tariffs coming. So 14 heads of state went, and most other countries sent high-level delegations. Who did South Africa send? Cyril Ramaphosa didn't go. He was available. He was in South Africa. Paul Mashatile didn't go. He was in South Africa, busy dealing with the Lada scandal. And then they didn't send the foreign minister, Ronnie Lamola. He was available. They didn't send the trade minister, who would have been the most appropriate person. That would be Parks Tau. No, they sent the deputy trade minister to Luanda. And then they begged for an extension for a trade deal that they've done nothing to secure since April. Nothing to secure. So that happened, that insult. And while that insult was going on, the deputy foreign minister from Durko went to the Iranian embassy after the United States bombed and destroyed Iran's nuclear capacity, for the short term at least, went and signed a book of condolences for the people who were killed in the bombing. Okay, that's not going to hurt America's feelings. I mean, come on. That's just this week. And there were more things this week. Look, what does the U.S. want? The U.S. wants a partner that doesn't stab us in the back every time we turn around. We want a reliable partner. This is a country we've given $8 billion to fight HIV. This is a country we offered free Nevirapine to expectant mothers, and tiny penis, small ego, Thabo Mbeki refused to accept Nevirapine to reduce mother-to-child HIV transmission in the birth canal when he was president. And over 500,000 South Africans were born with HIV because of his small-mindedness. We offered it for free. But HIV is caused by poverty. Yes. And Minister Beetroot, we remember her. Yes, Montu dipshit. Yeah. So all these people died. We took offense to that. When our clinicians and our medical experts said to South Africa's leaders in the politics that you have a combination of factors that's going to cause a perfect storm of HIV in your country very soon. They were called racist. And they were accused of attacking black men's sexuality. Nobody did any such thing. The number of sexual partners that men in Southern Africa have and men in Western Europe and the U.S. have is virtually the same over their lifetime. The difference is in Southern Africa, men tend to have multiple concurrent partners, whereas in other societies in Europe and America, people tend to sleep with the same person most of the time and then move on to the next person. break up, get divorced, remarried, different relationship. Whereas in Southern Africa, a person might be sleeping with multiple people at the same time. So you can see if you're sleeping with multiple people at the same time, by the time you find out you're HIV positive, you could have infected 2 or 3 people or more. So think about that. That, long distance trucking routes, the camps where mine workers were away from their families who were back in KZN or in Lesotho or in the Free State. They were in the mines in Joburg, living in hostels, sleeping with prostitutes and having girlfriends, having a side piece, having a small house. Yeah. And when we told them that, we were called racist. And guess what? We were 100% correct. 100% correct. Those were the factors that drove the spread of HIV in South Africa. And what is South Africa today? The world's most heavily infected HIV nation. 8 million South Africans have HIV. 8 million. 8 million. And the lies told, and see, Trump doesn't get upset about this, but I get upset about this. When Trump suspended PEPFAR and foreign assistance to South Africa, the South African government's response was, well, it doesn't matter. The Americans, they only contribute 17% to fight HIV. Really? We used to contribute 100% because you didn't do anything back in the day. And you've had 22 years to pick up the whole tab, but you haven't. So that 17% pays for almost all of the surveillance and monitoring of HIV programs in South Africa. Thousands of people are out of work now. You ignored those people and you blew off and said, our contribution doesn't matter. Virtually every scientific research and medical research program at UCT, at Rhodes, at Unisci, any South African educational institution doing research has halted. There's no money. UCT asked for 2 billion rand to make up for the shortfall because they can't do any research now because U.S. taxpayers aren't paying for it anymore. Yet they insult us saying that our aid doesn't matter. You know, it's a million things. News and Zulu said, it's a lot. What local political direction can one get out of this? Which party would be? Oh, that's a good question, News and Zulu. Thank you for asking that. Well, it's hard to say. I've vacillated between who you should vote for in South Africa. I'd never said who you should vote for. I said, these are your options. And in the 2021 municipal elections, I said you should vote for the party that has the best chance of winning municipality. And I said, in reality, if you don't want to vote for the ANC, which is you should be voting for, if you want to vote for a party that has the best chance, in most municipalities, it will be the DA or, in KZN, the IFP. There might be a few small municipalities in the Free State or in Northwest, somewhere like that, where the Freedom Front Plus might be able to pull it off, but mostly it's going to be the DA and the IFP. And I said you should vote for them. Then those parties can have an outright majority in the council. When you have an outright majority in the council, then you can have a coalition. You don't need a coalition. So when a partner comes and they throw their toys out of the pram, then you're like, fine, walk. But the problem is you have these idiotic coalitions at municipal level. This is the dumbest thing since syphilis. It's stupid. It's one thing to have a parliament, but to have a parliamentary system at the local level, it simply does not work. Look at Port Elizabeth, Nelson Mandela, Gebera. Look at the disaster there. Athol Trollip had the best government there. And every single day he was attacked by the ANC until they could bribe enough people to swing a vote, and EFF betrayed the coalition, and then the city fell. And all the work that was accomplished in about a year by Athol Trollip fixing that city, fixing the roads, getting services restored, picking up the rubbish, getting crime under control, even though they didn't control the police, they still put patrols out of citizens and such. All of that work disappeared in 90 days because of the corrupt coalition that the EFF joined to put them out of office. That's why you had to elect a minority party to a majority in a municipality. And that's what I recommend in 2021. And what happened? 31% of South Africans went to the polls who were eligible. And y'all didn't change jack squat. So, I interviewed 45 candidates from 8 political parties in the 3 months prior to election. I began carrying the standard to go vote in South Africa's municipal elections in 2020, not in November 2021. Oh, by the way, I'm the guy that predicted the ANC would have 38 to 42% of the vote in the 2024 elections, not in 2024, not in 2023, not in November of 2021. Now, the truth changed several times, including the addition of the MK party at one point, but the truth changed in such a way that my prediction, in my view, was still valid, and I won. They came out at 40.2%, right in the sweet spot of what I predicted. People said I was crazy. Don't listen to me. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I also predicted that the DA wouldn't get 30%. I said it'd be nice, but they won't. And they lost. They didn't do anything. So going forward in the 2024 election, you got the DA running around, don't vote for smaller parties. Well, at this point, a lot of people just aren't going to vote for the DA because of the government national unity. It is fulfilling the national democratic revolution. Expropriation without compensation now is the law of the land. The national health insurance is law of the land. The Bella Bill is the law of the land. The black tax, the transformation racist fund, that isn't law yet, but it will become law. Basically, everything that the leftist, socialist, communists want has come to fruition under the government national unity, which has their rah-rah teammate, Gate McKenzie, all in for his president. So, the ANC can do what they want. They've got the 9 parliamentary votes from there, 159 plus that 9. That gets them 168, and they go from there. But I'll tell you what, right now, if the DA had a pair, and I'm not encouraging them to do it, I'm just saying if they had a pair, they would call for a vote of no confidence. They have at least 193 votes. And if ANC ministers are busy at the salad bar instead of showing up to vote when the doors are shut, they'll win for sure. And even short of that, they only need 7 more votes, and they can get that from a couple parties. So anyway, news in Zulu. Where are you from? I assume KZN. Is that a wrong assumption? Ron Paul's too arrogant, can't comply because he thinks that he's doing right for Africans. No, what he's doing is wrong for black Africans. Get rid of the racist laws, stop the nonsense, let people get advance on merit. And if you're going to tell me historical disadvantages, you've had 30 years to fix that. It's not Alfred Connor's fault. It's not the National Party's fault. It's not colored or Indian people's fault that 30% is the standard for graduating and matriculating. You go through matric in 30% in 3 subjects and 40% in your mother language. That's not the National Party that came up with that stupidity. It's not the National Party that replaced qualified teachers because they were white English-speaking teachers in KZN and replaced them with pedophiles who slept with 10, 11, and 12-year-old girls, impregnating them, destroying them emotionally, and infecting them with HIV. That wasn't the National Party. That wasn't the English-speaking teachers in KZN. That was the pedophiles that they put in place who weren't qualified, but because they were black, they got jobs. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. Black South Africans can do quite well. They can do quite well. We have a physician who went to school in apartheid South Africa. He's black. And he went to primary school, secondary school, went to university, went to medical school, licensed physician, practiced medicine in South Africa. All of that under apartheid. And became the Minister of Health. Dr. Zweli Mkhize. There are talented South Africans who can accomplish, who are black. But lowering the standards and giving people money instead of teaching people thrift and entrepreneurialism is not the answer. And punishing part of the population because of a racist narrative. I mean, over half the white population was born after apartheid ended. To blame them for the sins of people that they don't even know or they're not is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And promoting people based on their skin color, that's wrong. That's wrong. This whole thing is just an edifice that's collapsing all around. I mean, look at the castle. The castle never had beggars living in front of it in shanty towns. That happened under the ANC, and it's under the DA too. That's right. That happened under this government. Look at the roads. Look at the rails. Watch my video that shows that, the 90 days. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Varoshka, take care. Dr. Doolittle. Oh, who's that? Zweli Mkhize. I heard it's a big problem as many black males think it's a slur on their manhood to wear a condom. I don't know about that, Karen. We had great success in Botswana and elsewhere in Africa encouraging condom use. It had a big impact in reducing the spread of HIV. Of course, we, the Americans, paid for those condoms. I still have some of them here. I have the ones from Sekwatahile from the Botswana, the BDF campaign. Yep. So I've got those. They're 20 years old. I'm not going to never use them, but I brought them for the packaging, so I still have them. News on Zulu is open-minded. Yeah, he sounds like he is. So, what short-sighted beliefs from Ramaphosa holds? Nobody wins, especially the poor, especially black South Africans. They're the ones who lose the most. You are in KZN. Well, are you laughing because I said KZN? Well, news in Zulu, where else would you be other than Gauteng? That's where all the Zulus are. 99% of the Zulus are in either KZN, Muslim, and then also in Gauteng, where it's the most widely spoken language. Don't forget the PI Act. Yeah, the PI Act. There's so many acts. The PI Act isn't racist, though. The PI Act affects anybody. I could go jump on Cyril's property or on Juju's property and make the claim, and legally I'd have the crap beaten out of me. I'd probably be murdered, taken out, and shot somewhere. But I mean, if that didn't happen, I could claim that that's my home. Yep. More people staying away from ballot box. Yep, that's the worst thing that could happen. People just gave up. Dan Bailey's in from Utah, from Wyoming. Hey, Dan. Oh, you're from Freiheit. Okay. Hey, News and Zulu. Okay. Everyone see just how crazy cash and transfers happen. No, I haven't seen the cash and trans the last few days. Sincerely hope that someone in the U.S. government sees your clip on giving the refugees a heads up what exactly is happening. I've also conveyed that message to the U.S. government. I don't know if it has any impact. What do I suggest to make this country again? BE has to go. That's step one. The police need to be reformed. They need to be trained, resourced, and all have to have lifestyle audits. They have to be paid properly. And then the justice system has to be justice. Life is life. Life isn't 7 to 10 years. You murder someone, you gang rape someone, that is you get out in a few years. That's life. You need reform. You need deterrence. Otherwise, these criminals act with impunity. There's no deterrence. First off, you commit a crime in South Africa, chance of even being caught are slim. If you're caught, being charged is slim. If you're charged, being prosecuted is slim. If you're prosecuted, being convicted is slim. I mean, we hear about these cases all the time, but they're the big high-profile cases. Most crime gets on. Look, who's in jail for the brutal Panga murder of Edward Neumeister, an innocent, wonderful 67-year-old man who was bludgeoned to death with a Panga at his German-themed restaurant in KZN during the pandemic? Who? Nobody that I know of. Who's in prison for the brutal domestic terrorism and torture of Brendan Horner? Nobody. Nobody. And the list goes on and on. We do have convictions for the brutal murder for hire of Sifatso Pule. That's disgusting. Such a beautiful woman, because her lover found it inconvenient she was pregnant because he was married, paid someone to murder her, hung her from a tree. That case was resolved because she's gorgeous and she's black. But most black murders aren't resolved. That was very attention-getting. Also, the UCT student who the postal worker lured to her death. Hannah Cornelius. We got the murderers there. They just laughed about it. They'll be out of prison soon. The people who murdered Natalie, what's her name? Natalie Stein? I can't draw on a blank right now. Back in the 1990s, they got out. The TRC let them out of prison when they bludgeoned her to death with cinder blocks. These are callous, heartless people, and they were forgiven. They should never be forgiven for that. You can't be forgiven for taking a life. If it's an accident, that's one thing. But intentionally taking a person's life, there is no forgiveness. You're going to tell me it's not very Christian? I don't really care. There's no forgiveness. Because that person's life doesn't come back. It's extinguished. It's gone forever. A family is destroyed. Lives are disrupted because of a selfish prick act that someone takes. No. Hey, Leslie, what's up? Dear Toothless, it seems like. Ooh, what's going on with my software? It's changing colors now. My microphone's changing colors. It just on its own started doing that. Shouldn't have done that. That's weird. Okay. The only thing I've seen is if you start taking their money, they'll change. Yeah, you take the ANC's money. Yep. May says DA is clueless. It's all about the voters. What about their backbone? Yep. Okay. They're already expensive. What does a company do when there's no options? So the future is really getting a hold of me. Hey, Dennis LaRue, what's going on? Only family for a provider of 5 grown-ups and 2 kids. Now, see, that's just messed up, Dennis. I told them to shower. South Africa owes China a lot of money. Okay. Dennis, I thought I could stay positive, but it looks bleak. People need to vote for performers, not grandfathers. Well, grand attenders. Well, okay. Look at every government-controlled entity, not just SAPs. Well, let's name it. Airports Company South Africa, disaster. They can't even get fuel in aircraft. Total disaster. And that's one of the better ones. Airports Company South Africa, Transnet, the rails don't work. The rails are ripped up. You can't ship things. That's one reason why ArcelorMittal is going out of business. They can't get the coking coal that they need because it has to be shipped by truck and it's too expensive instead of coming by rail because the rails were all ripped up. Eskom, a national disgrace, once foolishly voted the utility of the year around the world in 2000. Eskom's a disaster. SAA is a dodo bird that should be, have a bullet put in its neck. Every single thing. Every government-owned entity, a total disaster. Courtney Mulder mentioned on CRA yesterday. What is CRA? Oh, no, I said that, Dirk. I said, look, okay, yeah. Well, he can confirm that. That's a good thing for me to ask him on Friday. Courtney Mulder will be on the program Friday evening. So he'll be on with me at 7:30 Friday, South Africa time, 1:30 my time. So, yeah, when that happened, one of my analysis of that event was that Trump was gentle. There wasn't one video of Cyril saying, I don't know what Trump knows about South Africa. He can keep his America. I'll keep my South Africa. Vaccine apartheid. Nothing about that week when they were talking about the insulting America and our foreign policy. Their foreign ministry did that. There were so many things that could have been put in there about the ANC, what it's doing now. The denial. It could have put up a video showing a list of all the laws that discriminated against minorities. He could have done so many things, but he didn't do that. So when people said it was an ambush, that's a lie. That's all died, by the way. Everybody's forgotten about the ambush. There was no ambush. That was just cocked up, made up bullshit by fake stream media in South Africa and America who tried to cover for Cyril Ramaphosa, and he deserves to be exposed, not covered, not protected. But there was no ambush. Ramaphosa asked for the meeting. Trump generously granted it. He came there. Ramaphosa tried to bullshit him, and Trump goes, Natalie, could you dim the lights? Natalie, dim the lights, please. Yeah, and we know what happened next. Trump dimmed the lights, and this is what unfolded. Trump dimmed the lights, and it got ugly. Why did it get ugly? Because Cyril's so full of it, his eyes are brown.
Well, I can answer that for the president. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer. It will
rather have him answer.
Yeah,
So here he interrupts Trump.
It will take President
starts
Trump
lecturing him.
listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on around the quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me.
And look at Steenhuisen, just like a bobblehead. Yeah, and Trump could have destroyed him, and that's what I said at the time. Nothing was directed. There wasn't a single ANC current member that was included in those videos. That was Julius Malema, former ANC Youth League, gone a long time ago. That was Jacob Zuma saying kill the Boer when he's president, but he's not in the ANC anymore. He could have destroyed the ANC, could have destroyed Ramaphosa right there. And the comment from Ramaphosa when they showed the Normandian protest, when the crosses were laid out, and then all the fake news, well, that's not true. Trump lied. That never happened. Bullshit. We saw it happen when it unfolded in 2020. I watched the protest. Unbelievable. People deny it. We saw the crosses. We talked to people that were there. Going to deny it? It's real. The crosses were the names of people whose families consented to have their names put on the cross. There were, I think, 500 or something like that. At the end, it was a big sign demanding Ramaphosa do something at the farmers. And where is this? I've never seen this before. Did they tell you where this is, Mr. President? Seriously? And Trump's like, it's in South Africa. Dumbass. Anyway. Yeah, I'll keep my Zimbabwe. Look what happened. Yeah. Colonel's coming to us from the other side. Yeah, Neil De Beer. What do you mean, is this evening South Africa time? Yes, the time is on it. Are you just asking out of the blue, or did you see the posting? The posting's there. It's at 5 o'clock South Africa time, 11 o'clock my time. Yep, it's there. Yep. Yeah, he and his cronies were an embarrassment, Ingrid. They really were. Maybe wrong, but Steenhuisen's face seemed to get redder and redder. Yeah, it did. It did. Yep. Bobblehead reminds me of the 70s. Yep. Well, it reminds me of baseball games. So, all right. What do we got next here? Lighten up the mood a little bit. Get it together. All right. Well, let's do Heart of the Nation. Somebody asked for Heart of the Nation.
The streets are burning, skies full of smoke. Farmers fight for life, hearts nearly broke. The crops are failing, the rivers run dry, and the people ask, how long must we cry? Will Ramaphosa stand or take the fall? The vote of no confidence, a rallying call. Save South Africa, we can't delay. The heart of the nation is slipping away.
Corruption's a shadow that darkens the land, stealing from the people with a greedy hand. The workers are hungry, the wages are thin, and justice feels like it's wearing thin. Will Ramaphosa stand or take the fall? The vote of no confidence, a rallying call. Save South Africa, we can't delay. The heart of the nation is slipping away. The children are crying, their future unclear, but the strength of the people will persevere. Through the ashes and the lies, we'll find our way. A brighter tomorrow begins today. The fields will grow green, the skies will turn blue, when leaders are honest and the hearts are true. Together we rise, united and strong. This is our fight, where we all belong.
Heart of a Nation, Slipping Away. Yep, that's one we did the other night. Apparently crime networks are interwoven with ruling parties. It looks that way, doesn't it? Looks that way. Kay's Garden's back. Welcome to you, Shannon. Chris, just listening to you and explain stuff in a way that most of us couldn't. Not sure why. Are we just uneducated? No, Shannon, okay, look, this is where people are going to attack me. I'm just going to be honest here, and you can disagree with me. My stock in trade is my ability to communicate and influence and lead people. And that's what I've been successful at doing for so long. I've got a lot of experience doing it and motivating and convincing people to achieve a goal or to listen to an argument. Doesn't mean I'm always right or always win, but I also, this is the thing I think that's always been a big strength for me. And you guys can disagree again if you don't agree with me. But because of the circumstances I've lived in, I grew up in abject poverty and then upper middle income, then back to abject poverty, lived in housing projects. I was a minority, 3 white families in a housing project of 300, beaten up and assaulted with a switchblade as a 6-year-old kid because I was white, things like that. I learned empathy for the underdog. Same thing, I lived in Buffalo, New York. Everybody spoke Spanish or Puerto Rican except me, and they just ignored me because they were rude pricks. And then I went to a high school that was all white. Not because black people weren't allowed, they just weren't dumb enough to live in rural Appalachia. They were smarter. And then I lived all over the world, and I've lived in all kinds of circumstances. I've been a minority all over Africa. I lived in Europe and Middle East, and I've always had the ability to interact with the audience I'm talking to. So I always had to learn how to blend in, and a lot of times unintentional. I had to learn a skill about 20 years ago, which I didn't realize was maybe 25 years ago. I realized back in the 1990s that I had to be careful because I found myself, when I sat down with people, an audience people, my voice would begin to change over the course of a conversation without even drinking alcohol. Now, Arctic drinks alcohol, his voice changed, but mine doesn't, so I don't need to drink alcohol. I would begin unintentionally mimicking the sounds and mannerisms of people I'm around. Because growing up, I had to do that so I didn't get beat up or abused or left out in the cold because I was always a new guy. I went to 30 plus elementary and junior high schools all over the country. So I was always adapting and adjusting to new environments. So I've always been of the belief that I have the ability to talk to ditch diggers, teachers, physicists, politicians, monarchs, prime ministers, presidents. I can talk to anybody, and I can take any topic most of the time and put it in words and in phrases and explain it in a way that anybody can understand it. And I can adjust to my audience. I think that's a strength. You guys can tell me if you disagree, but I think that's one reason why I'm successful. And nobody's answering that. Nobody says I'm full of crap or they believe me. Yeah. Raina, that's very nice of you. There are some white people in Zimbabwe, about 20,000. So recently at a gorgeous place a little outside of Clarence. No expenses spared. Well, when you go into Clarence, there's a massive, hideous informal settlement there. It wasn't there years ago. It's all cropped up under the ANC. Hey, Francis Ruiz. Thank you for that. Arctic. People should take his booze away, man. He's dangerous. Well, legal alien, not to insult you, but yes, an autobiography would be my own work. Yeah, Survivor. I think we all agree that Chris, I appreciate more than you'll ever know. Well, thank you, Ingrid's Inspirations. Love your objectivity. Yes, I am objective. Dogzilla the other night I think he was the one that said this is the Love Trump channel. I love Trump's policies mostly, but not entirely. I'm not happy about a number of things right now. I'm not upset about the Epstein thing. I'm more upset about, the criminals in the Biden regime not being prosecuted for censoring us and illegally, using third parties as agents of the federal government, like Twitter and YouTube, to censor people they didn't like and interfering with their free speech. I want those. I want those indictments. Nobody touches my booze. The facts, too. I guess just grateful to learn about a different lens of the world. Well, and Shannon, that's another thing. So when I was a young man, I used to read The Economist cover to cover, every issue. And I finally gave up my subscription after 35 years because it became a propagandist, leftist rag, and it's disgraced itself after 9/11. It just became a shameful publication. I kept it going until about 2014 or 15. I finally said, screw this. I've had enough of this crap. But it used to be a wonderful publication full of anonymous articles. And they weren't looking for bylines or fame. They were writing for equality. But the thing about The Economist is they had the British survey and the American survey. So they had a section in each magazine each week focusing on the U.S. and focusing on UK. I loved it because I became intimately familiar with the UK and what was going on there without even being in the UK, because I read The Economist and had great coverage of all the stuff happening domestically. So I'm very familiar with the UK. I liked it because it was a different view on America from the outside, and it was an objective view at the time, objective. It looked at it objectively and talked about issues in America. That isn't the case anymore. I mean, for instance, a few years ago, they attacked America when Trump was president. This is when I finally had enough of it. They attacked America under Trump, saying that it was racist and xenophobic and that our immigration system was unfair because it didn't care about people. Well, they promoted Canada, so they have an amazing system. It's wonderful, but that's bullshit. Canada has a point system. If you're an attorney from Pakistan or a dentist from Bangalore, they'll happily take you. If you've got millions of dollars, they'll take you. But if you're a chimney sweep from Guatemala, they don't want you there. And they've got systems to keep you out. Whereas America lets all those people come in the country legally. We let everybody come in the country. So they just piss me off with their lies and covering for Canada, which is just a nasty, nasty immigration process there. After 31 years of freedom, all these morons have built the squatter camps. Yep. It's amazing how your experiences and knowledge, you sure are survival. Okay. Learn a new language. All the dogs' languages. Every bark says something. Okay. You're a role model to me, and I'm sure many, please, actually think Arctic doesn't really drink, but uses that line to get away with his witty comments. Rebecca actually does. It's pretty scary. He's a pilot, and half the time he's 3 sheets to the wind. I mean, I've been notified by the Federal Aviation Administration at least a half a dozen times. I got a notice to airmen. I got a notice, a NOTAM several times warning me that there was a private plane that was flying at an undue altitude over my house, flying from the direction, coming up from the south, headed towards Middleton. And this isn't the flight path flying over my house to get to Middleton. It's actually further east of here, about 4 kilometers. When an aircraft is that far off course, it can only be because the pilot's intoxicated. And we've confirmed that it was actually Arctic. We have people on the ground at Harrisburg, Middleton Airport, and he's been caught several times. The problem is I couldn't get the troopers there to administer a blood alcohol test. We just couldn't get them in time. He was already refueled and in the air before I had a chance to get it. So we're keeping an eye on that. You know, this Arctic never tells me when he comes to Harrisburg anymore. So I have to wait until the plane flies low over my house. I would have sworn last time, I would have sworn that the bag of dog poo that I found out there was dropped from an aircraft. I would have sworn. I went out in the morning and I found this big bag of dog feces, and I would have sworn it was dropped from an aircraft because the bag just split all over the place in my lawn. It took me 20 minutes to clean it all up. Yeah, and there was a note in there. It said, well, you don't get Druvus this time. Anyway. Oh, it was raccoon shit. Yeah, drinking is a big problem with pilots. So are aviator glasses. We are saving the world, one tariff at a time. Circumstance teaches us new skills. I'm a natural introvert, but circumstance taught. Cycling journeys. I've said this many, many times. When I was 17 years old and I went to university because of my childhood and what happened in my childhood, I was very much an introverted person. I was not an extrovert. But a year of running around the campus of Ohio University, I very much became an extrovert over the course of that year. Yep. Definitely, and that's even worse because we have to be able to protect our kids at school since no one else is really protect them. Just surviving, says Natalie. Yep. Good morning, Madeline Ruiz. I'm not into nor understand politics. I know just enough to know how deep crap we're in paddling upstream the creek. Yep, you are. Definitely paddling. Blue Cup is not a big problem. Jokes aside, the FAA will take your license. Oh yeah. Oh, no. We're okay. Let's. All right, this is starting to be like a Ronaldo joke-telling session where he likes to diss on me. Okay. Arctic is a fantastic pilot. He's very, very highly qualified, very well respected by his peers and by his employers. And we're grateful that he's here to fly folks around. And he's right. You do any alcohol, and pilots, you're done. You're done. They don't mess around. I mean, look what we're talking about now. We're talking about pilots in India that may very well have shut the fuel off to a Dreamliner. How in the hell do you do that? It sounds like they shut the fuel down. We'll see if that's actually the case when the investigation's over, but the initial report will be out in a day or two coming from India, from the India Aviation and Safety Administration. And it sounds like they're going to finger the switches for the fuel. How do you turn the fuel off to the main engines? That's just insane. And I seriously doubt they were intoxicated. So you can imagine. Believe anyone can enjoy their tipple. Yep. No, Karen, he doesn't drink. Yeah, no. Well, that's another thing. By the way, South Africans, if you come here to America, don't run red light robots. Don't run stop signs. When you get pulled over, be respectful to police. Don't ever try to bribe anybody because you're going to jail. Homie, don't play that here in America. Yep. Yep. Easy split seconds decision on a false input. Yep. Yeah, that was a bombshell, Xavier. If in fact that's the case, that's insane. That's insane. But what's even more insane to me is the divine intervention. The dude who, when the plane broke apart, got up and ran out of the window, and he didn't even fall. Not a scratch on him. Why won't the world step in, Loretta? Because the world isn't the world that it was back then. The world was in the process of becoming led by these woke retards, and now the woke retards are in ascendancy in France, in the UK, in Germany, in Sweden, all over the world. Only conservatives are in Hungary, the Netherlands now, Italy. That's about it. And the U.S. Canada has woke turds. Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand has a conservative government, but they're not a strong conservative government. So most of the world, Japan has a conservative government, but they're not focused on South Africa. At night, no one stops at red lights. Well, I'll tell you what. In Hillbrow, I don't stop at red lights. I don't stop at robots. No, sorry. Yep. Pulled over by cops. Yes, don't get out of your car. No. Don't get out of the car. No. That's a mistake. We'll drive in sidewalks like the taxis. No. Yeah, don't speed. Speed limit changes every 5 minutes. Well, it depends where you're at, Arctic. Yeah, it's not every 5 minutes. Drive through Kansas. It's the same speed for 300 miles. It doesn't change. Here we actually stop at red lights after dark. Yeah. The Czech Republic. Yeah, okay. They maybe have conservative government. I don't know. Poland's back and forth. They're vacillating. By the way, Poland is filing a case against Elon Musk and X for Grok being anti-Semitic the other day and attacking Polish leaders on top of it. Yeah, I think that what's happening here is there are former Twitter employees, leftist hate wankers, who have left back doors in the code so they can break in and disrupt Twitter now and then. I think that's how they affected them on their ad revenue and how they're affecting them other ways now. Milk and Honey's back. Hijack hotspot. SAF is literally constantly acting in self-defense. Yeah, no, I got that, Xavier. That's I get it. I don't drive at night. South Africa is dangerous. I don't drive anywhere in Africa at night. Lived in Aus for 7 years. Oh, you're talking about Australia. Yeah. Any idea what seat number that guy? He was up by the exit. Yep. Well, every crash is different, Gene. You did what? You got out of the vehicle? Already? You're a cop. Okay. Nope. Just put your hands on the wheel. That's right. That's right. You put your hands on the wheel and you put your window down. You just wait for the police officer to come up. Yep. Seat number 11. Well, the people in the back didn't get out, Ark. Yeah, well, this AI glitch is going to happen all the time. That's the problem. That's the problem. All right, so shotgun. All right, so what about Get It Together? You guys want to hear Get It Together? Let's do Get It Together.
The streets are quiet, the people scream. Promises fading like a broken dream. Tariffs climbing, the weight's too steep. The future's calling, but it don't come cheap. Let's get it together. Rise up and fight. Through the dark days, we'll find the light. South Africa bleeding, but we're still strong. We'll turn this pain into a battle song. Jobs are gone like smoke in the breeze. Leaders talk, but they don't appease. The people wait while the powers stall. How long till we break or stand tall? Let's get it together. Rise up and fight. Through the dark days, we'll find the light. South Africa bleeding, but we're still strong. We'll turn this pain into a battle song. Bricks can't bind us, nor tariffs cage. We're a wildfire in a burning age. The ain't seen others, but we'll ignite. We'll take the reins and set it right. Let's get it together. Rise up and fight. Through the dark days, we'll find the light. South Africa bleeding, but we're still strong. We'll turn this pain into a battle song.
Get It Together. Yeah. So I think it's actually a strong chance that the President Trump will go in November to the G20. The USA takes over the leadership of the G20 from South Africa. And Trump, depending how successful he is with the tariff and trade deals by then, may want to strut his stuff, especially with China being there and Russia being there. So I think it's a very real possibility that he'll actually go to it in South Africa. It also knocks out a lot of things. Gives him a chance to go to South Africa, and then, you know, when Ramaphosa runs his mouth, you know, what does he know about South Africa? Well, he's been there. Yep. So first time went out since 2019 was to Colonel's Durban meet and greet. Stressed about getting there and home, but got a lift back. Where is Ngema? I haven't seen Ngema in ages. What happened to him? Well, that was very nice of Ngema. He's a nice gentleman, isn't he, Karen? He's a kind of, that's the first time since 2019 you went out was to come to my meet and greet. Wow, I'm humbled. See, wow, Karen, I didn't realize that. Ngema is a really good young man. I really like him. Where is he at? I haven't seen him lately. That guy mail you and tell you. Oh, yeah, okay. So I do have an update on that stuff, okay? So I didn't want to talk about refugees, but it's getting to the end here, so I'll do it. Fewer cars around, plenty of little stores are open. If you need anything, police officer training. Checking the guy's voice. I should have added. Huh. Yeah, I haven't seen LT and Gamer for a while. They'll have a dedicated route. They'll shut down all traffic, and they'll have a dedicated route. Yep. Okay, so I've received a number of emails, and that's true. Okay, so I received emails from people today and last night that people writing to me and saying that they had an appointment. They sent an email in before the 12th of May to the PRM. They had an appointment called, scheduled. Then someone called and postponed their appointment, and they have gotten no rescheduled appointment. I've also received email from others saying that they had sent in to the PRM before the 12th of May. They had an appointment. It was postponed, and now they've had a telephone interview with the U.S. government. So that's also happened. So that's interesting. I've got a couple more emails from other people who said that they've gotten telephonic interviews with the U.S. Embassy, with personnel from PRM. So things are happening, folks. Things are happening. Yeah, I like 787. I like the windows on them. They're nice. I hate tiny windows in aircraft. What date is G20? It's in November sometime, and it's going to be tough for me because, I got those dates. Getting the G20 is going to be hard. So... November G20 summit is scheduled for 22-23 November. So Thanksgiving time frame. Yep. So I might be able to pull that off. I gotta go check on something. Hang on. Let me check on this here. Where's my mail? Okay. Okay, let's check this out. Okay. Oh, it's going to be tough. Yeah, I'm going to miss it. There's no way I can make it. No way I can make that. Damn. Yeah. That's a weekend. It's 2 days, 22 and 23. Huh. I could make it for the 23rd, maybe. But that's going to be tough, too. Huh. Interesting. Let me check on something here. October 2024, and then 10th. It's just, this whole thing is messing my schedule up. Anyway. Yep. Anyway, yeah. So there's that. It's listed as 22-23, which is a weekend. That's an odd time to have a summit. LT is great. Discovered he works really close by. Well, could you check on him, Karen? Do you have contact with him? Ask him if he's okay. We haven't seen him in a while. Hope he's all right, if you're able to. How would you confirm who you were speaking to? Regarding what, Rakes? Regarding the refugee thing and the emails people are sending me? Well, unless I know them, I have no way of confirming. People could be bullshitting me. That's why I don't confirm these things. I'm just telling you anecdotally what I've got. Oh, are you asking about people calling you? Well, the American accent would be one way. They'll also state and give you information that will confirm who they are. Okay. Credit collector for a bill you paid a long time ago. Yeah, it's because it's in their system and they haven't cleared it. Yep. Jacques Femulin. Summit will start plus or minus 30 minutes late. If it's a Nigerian, just give them your passport. Yep. Salute. Safest form of communication. What do you mean, what's the safest form of communication? It depends what the threat is. They're replying to my message about the guy who got the call yesterday. Oh. You're welcome, Rakes. Okay. Well, given how skeptical Afrikaners are, I mean, some of you are never going to get in the program because you just don't believe anything. So I don't know what to tell you, man. You're just not going to get in the program. You know, you're just so skeptical of everything. Anyway, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, Right. Alrighty, guys. 255 people here right now. That's pretty cool. Let's hit that like button. Got 285 likes. They won't take President Trump through the bad areas. They will take her out where everything is. Of course, Sync Master. Of course. Of course. And the Cape Town National Convention Center will be spotless and cleaned up, and it'll be all under control. Yep. They'll probably even restrict access to Santon City, I'll bet you, with Trump there. They didn't do it with Modi, but with Trump, I bet you they do it. Yep. Do you blame us with our own politicians who need enemies? Who needs enemies? Yeah. Pig Daddy RSA. Yep. Anyway. All right, guys. I've got an interview with Heinz Winkler at 10 o'clock. So that's 9 hours from now. And I've got many people are skeptical due to all the BS in South Africa. I know why they're skeptical, Loretta, but you know, if you're going to miss your golden ticket because you can't sort through the bullshit, there's nothing I can do to help you. I'm not there. I can't answer your phone for you. I can't answer your email. And I was talking about this earlier. I mean, the messages I get from people, the emails, people ask me, you know, to get them out of South Africa. I don't have any control over that. Just got here, says Les. Oh, no, don't leave. Well, it's late. Yeah, Heinz Winkler is going to interview me, and then I'm doing Neil de Beer after that tomorrow. So we'll have the news. Will come after the Neil de Beer interview, okay? He said all Afrikaners beat their wives. Who said that? Who said all Afrikaners beat their wives? DJ Silver Eagle. I was thinking about that. He could take some of my lyrics and turn them into songs. Okay. Thank you, Karen. No, but just tell him I'm just concerned. I haven't seen him in a while. We miss him, okay? Yeah, a lot of people aren't here, so. All right, got it. You guys started out too. Okay, Rudolph, have a good day. You guys have a lovely day. Thanks for being here. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you later in the day. It's already tomorrow. I'm going to go get some rest. Something I didn't get last night. Man, I was tired. Yeah, so it's still Wednesday. You know, my day is really never ended. I went to bed for a couple hours, got up, and did the rugby, the British and Irish Lions game. Then I did a video, answered a bunch of mail, then did the news, then did Ronaldo, then had to run and buy a new ups for and then hook up all the stuff in my living room, my TV and my Roku and all the other stuff, and my Blu-ray player and all that. And then I had other stuff going on, and then I did my radio show, and then I did this. Man, it's been a long day. I've been going for, let's see, over 18 hours, except for about a 2-hour nap. Yep. So it's time to go to bed. Cheers, everybody. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Thanks. Hit that like button.